Hey guys, let's talk about some astrology. We've got big astrology to talk about. We've got some pretty epic astrology to talk about. We've got some rare transits going on right now. We've got some very big, heavy hitting transits going on right now. We are at a very transitional point in time. We are at a very transitional point energetically. We are closing out the month of February this week. We are entering the month of March. March is probably one of the biggest and most significant, powerful, and profound months of this 2023 year. To start our week this week, we are talking about two big important planets that have a lot to do with the state of the world around us, essentially, at the very last critical degrees of their sign. Pluto 29 Capricorn, Saturn 29 Aquarius, both Saturn ruled signs. You guys, this is major transformations in the foundations that we've been standing on, the matrix and the paradigm that we have been existing within. This is what is breaking down, and this is what is transforming. This week, we also have Venus and Jupiter coming into a conjunction. Chiron is right there as well, though. This is a quite rare transit. We only get Jupiter and Chiron together every 14 to 19 years, and Venus being right there, we have beautiful energy going on this week, you guys. But these are the times, okay? These are the times that like history is made of. So let's get into it. Let's break down this energy, see what we have going on today and tomorrow to close out this month of February, what we have coming at us this week as we begin the month of March, and what we can expect in our experience on the ground as we go through all of this. Welcome back, you guys, to your favorite astrology show on YouTube. Today is Monday, February 27th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. Today, we're going to be talking about this last 2 days of the month of February, moving us into this month of March, which is just this very significant, powerful, critical month in the context of this entire year. Also hosting our new moon in Aries that's going to be coming up on the 21st of March this year. That is going to pack a major punch as well. We've got lots of energy going on this week. Like I said, first of all, to start off our week, we have both Pluto and Saturn, 29 degrees of Capricorn and Aquarius. Of course, Capricorn and Aquarius are both ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is one of the planets at this degree, while Pluto is the other planet at this degree. It doesn't get much more like literal in terms of what we're talking about here, which is the just transformation and regeneration of like the structures and the foundations under our feet. And by that, I mean sort of like the world as we know it that has been sort of like built around us, this previous matrix, this previous paradigm that we have been existing within, long established orders of rules and regulations and governments and authority and all of this type of stuff, you guys. Foundational changes, foundational transformations, the end of an era, a very transitional point in time being spoken of to start this week of the month of February and move us towards the month of March, which again, we will have our full moon in Virgo, and then we will have our new moon in Aries, which from an energetic perspective is essentially like the beginning of the natural new year. So from an energetic perspective, this month of Pisces, and as we're closing out this Pisces cycle, is really the transitional energy from last year, this 2022 energetic year, into our new 2023 energetic year coming up, even though, of course, like according to the Gregorian calendar and all of that, we are officially, in 2023. But on an energetic level, we are still closing out last year's energy. And there is just so much transition and transformation and the flow of one thing into another, the completion of cycles that is being indicated on an energetic vibrational level at this point in time. And we're also in a mutable cycle, you guys, and mutable energy, aside from, just where we're at generally and how significant these times are in terms of the ending and beginning, with the 29 degrees of the two big planets, one of them being Pluto, the other one being Saturn, which is the forms and structures and essentially like the 3D physical world around us. But we are in this mutable cycle. We are in a Pisces cycle. Pisces is also, like endings and beginnings, fading back, the fading of one thing back into something else, the death of one thing so that a rebirth of something else can go on. Across the board, you guys, that's where we're at. And we're at these last 2 days of the month of February as well, which this month of March is being very much like a new beginning point. So we're at the end of the end of the end of the end. So if you find yourself in a situation in life where you feel like things are sort of coming to the end of an era, you're going through like a personal paradigm shift, or like you're completing like or graduating from certain cycles and patterns that had been very characteristic of perhaps even maybe the last 20 years or so of your life, you are right on track. You are right on par with these energetics, and you are going right in the right direction. Something to keep in mind. But we're at this transition point, you guys, this week, especially to start this week with these two big planets at the 29 degrees in the 1 month, of course, into another this week, but also like one era into another as we are going into this month of March, which will host Saturn changing signs. This is a 2-year transit, and Pluto moving to the sign of Aquarius. This is a 20-year transit. So big foundational changes, okay, that are going to make themselves known throughout the course of the next 20 years. That's what we are, where we are at, and what we are starting towards right now as we are closing something else out. March is probably, like I said, one of the biggest months of this year, as of course the transits of these two planets is going to create a huge shift in collective energy. We are at the tipping point, things coming to a close, ready to take off in this new direction. And just to sort of put the exclamation point on top of that today, you guys, let's talk about Sabian symbol placement of the sun and the earth for just a moment, considering we're talking about being ready and at the tipping point to take off in a brand new direction. We have the sun today on the 27th, on Monday the 27th at 9 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is the race begins. Intent on outdistancing his rivals, a jockey spurs his horse to great speed. So the race begins. We are ready to, like, we're like at the gate and like ready to take off, and things are going to be happening quickly. Remember, we do have all direct planets right now as well. And then the position of the Earth also is an expressionist painter making a futuristic drawing. So we are about to race, right? Like full speed, outdistancing our rivals, going in our own direction. Very like focused and future oriented on the visions that we're trying to bring to life at this point in time, making an expressionist painter, making a futuristic drawing, taking the inspiration in the mind regarding the future and the potential, and manifesting, translating that outward into something physical and tangible that we can see and that we can at least like have a blueprint of, perhaps in it holding in our hand, or something that we can, tangibly see in front of us. This is what this energy is indicating today as we are closing out this last 2 days and heading towards, again, the 1st of March. This is coming at us this week, which is a beautiful day. Here, this is something else that we need to say, you guys. All of this that I'm talking about right now, okay, this transition point that we're at, and this tipping point, and the big, like, perhaps collapses, destruction, but it's Pluto energy, but also simultaneous like rebirth and innovation and almost like miraculous things coming to play and coming into existence and fruition simultaneously. Okay, that's how the Pluto energy works. Like, some things need to fall away that have been standing and have been like representative of our experience for a very long period of time, but simultaneously this is to make way for the emergence of something new and something better and something much more in a greater authentic alignment with the truth of our purpose, the truth of our potential, and helping us to ultimately like really get on board with activating our destiny and finding ourselves in a much more fulfilling and purposeful place in life, as that is where this energy is trying to drive us, is trying to take us. But, on the side of that playing out this week, we have the most beautiful aspect in all of astrology going on simultaneously, which is a Venus-Jupiter conjunction, which is expansion and supersizing the positive beneficial qualities of the Venus archetype, Venus energy, love, beauty, positive relations with others, luck in money and fortune. Great time for, any type of like deals or negotiations, or the things that we are starting and moving towards being extremely supported in this energy as well. Like, this is a very, very, very beautiful week. On a more surface level, there's a very positive energy that is flowing through this week. However, it is up against this backdrop of these big changes that are going on right now. Both Pluto and Saturn at 29 degrees of their Saturn-ruled signs. And listen to the Sabian symbols, you guys, associated with these degree placements. Now, you guys can interpret these, according to your own worldview and perspective, but we've got Pluto at 30 degrees of Capricorn, a secret meeting of men responsible for world affairs. And we have Saturn at 30 degrees of Aquarius, moonlit fields, once Babylon, are now blooming white. To me, this is talking about sort of like a reset and rooting out corruption and distortion and abuses of power for the purpose of essentially putting things right so that things can begin to grow again according to like an organic natural structure that is in alignment with true value and true worth and true potential. Okay, this is taking the distortion and putting it through a process of regeneration and alchemization and metamorphosis, essentially, so that it can begin to grow according to an organic process again, which is unlocking the beauty and unlocking the potential and unlocking the divinity, essentially, that exists within, being described by the Sabian symbol placements of these 2 degrees. And there are a lot of other ways that could be interpreted as well. But I just wanted to give you guys those symbolic placements of those 2 degrees, because I feel like that is also speaking to kind of like what this process ultimately with these aspects at this point in time in the context of this grand unfolding cosmic blueprint is doing for us. Foundations, structures, government and authority, control systems, power dynamics, all of the forms and structures we've been existing within over the past 20 years are about to be transformed, very world stage oriented, but also in terms of, like I've said, our own personal paradigms. This is a time of lasting significance and lasting transition, change individually, change collectively. We've also got Sabian symbol placements that are indicating the transition from a past way of being to a new way of being. We have Venus at 10 degrees of Aries. A teacher gives new symbolic forms to traditional images. We have Uranus at 16 Taurus. An old teacher fails to interest his students in traditional knowledge. Uranus right now in the sign of Venus. So there's Uranus talking about something that's not working anymore, and Venus is talking about the solution to that problem in order to make relevant that which had lost its appeal or had lost its ability to fit into the emergence of the way that things are developing now for one reason or another. And we have the position of the black moon right now, an old-fashioned woman in a flapper, which is also talking about sort of the older, traditional, more conservative type of things, like sort of juxtaposed to maybe like the new and the emerging and what's coming now, this change in values, this change in preferences and desires as well, and ways of relating to information and also relating to the context of the past. I feel like a lot of things from the past are going to start to be seen in an entirely new light, in a new context. I feel like there's going to be a lot of historical revelations, I guess we could say, that might be coming over this next period of time as well. A time also, you guys, very likely of some high strangeness and seemingly divinely or magically orchestrated events unfolding. Information is what is driving this awakening that we have going on, which is driving this transformation. It's like what we're finding out, the information, the revelations are what is contributing to this collectivized awakening that's going on, and the awakening itself is what is driving the transformation, or they're kind of all happening simultaneously. But those are, I feel like, the sort of the 3 components to a lot of the major changes that are going on right now. And again, this information or this revelation or this awakening is likely to have a historical context. And I'm saying that because of the Capricorn and the Saturn emphasis, and Saturn rules long periods of time in the past. And I feel like, especially with Mars in the sign of Gemini right now, we've also got a Mercury-Saturn conjunction coming in this week. There could just be information from the past that's sort of coming full circle, or we could just be shifting and changing the way that we are understanding or looking at things from the past in a different light. Somehow indicated, I feel like, just as this energy is going on. So we have this going on, like I said, is the backdrop, this massive transition sort of in the midst of everything else that is folding this week. This change, of course, with Pluto and Saturn, this is heavy, this is intense, and these big paradigm changing like periods of time that go on, they're always going to be more intense experiences. However, like I said, we do have this extremely beautiful energy on the surface value of things that is going on this week as well to start our week, and especially to begin our month of March. The chart for the first day of March is extremely beautiful. We're going to have our exact Venus-Jupiter alignment on March 1st. So this is the best energy ever, essentially, like I said, for just a good mood, positive relationships with others, getting along well with other people, you know, being able to get what we want, essentially, but also to like being like more kind and compassionate and of service to others as well. This is very financially lucky. If there are financial things that you need to handle, this is a good time to do it, and things are just likely to work out in our favor. We should be feeling positive about things generally kind of all week, especially though on the 1st, I think it's Wednesday. But social situations should generally be going well. Huge emphasis, you guys, right now, over this next few weeks, I don't know. There could be some financial, economic things going on throughout the month of March. I haven't done the March breakdown yet. That's what I'm going to be doing my report on for, that I'm going to be working tomorrow on my report for the month of March and looking day by day at the energy and sort of making some conclusions about what I feel like translating it, like, in breaking it down, you know, boiling it down into some conclusions about what the month of March might just be like generally representing. But I feel like there could be some major financial stuff going on because this huge emphasis, first of all, we've got Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything. Jupiter is also, you know, can have a tendency to like represent like money and wealth and stuff like that, but it's growth. Okay, Jupiter is like expansive growth, no boundaries, okay, no limitation. Now we've got Venus, which rules money and abundance and pleasure and comfort and material, like material possessions, material comforts, financial, all that type of stuff. And we have Venus and Jupiter together. This almost always indicates some type of big time financial success, okay? But then we're also bringing into it Chiron. And this is what really makes this aspect like really quite unique, okay? Because Chiron is also ruling like value and wealth and like true worth. So with Venus and Chiron, but Chiron is also the wounded healer teacher. So when we're dealing with Chiron, we're dealing with things of wounding, with themes of wounding and healing. So with Jupiter and Chiron together, you know, things are going to go a couple different ways. Like there is likely to be some type of emphasis on wounding or negative situations in regards to like financial stuff like that, but simultaneously like what needs to be done to heal. It's bringing an awareness perhaps to certain more negative aspects of like financial situations or financial markets or currency-based things or issues to deal with like worth and value, but simultaneously also helping us gain a much more profound sense of awareness of how to fix these things. So it will be interesting to see the impact that this specific transit has on like financial markets and like resources and supply chains and like the more Taurus-oriented Venus type of stuff, but also just like money generally and our relationship to money and value and worth and stuff like that. But back to Venus and specifically Jupiter together in the sign of Aries, of course, you know, the changes that are going on right now and the awakenings that are going on right now are going to be playing into this Venus-Jupiter conjunction somehow, because Venus is ruling the position of Uranus right now in the conjunction. Venus is coming to the conjunction with Jupiter, but she's ruling the position of Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So there could actually be some very unexpected, sudden, and positive financial improvements coming into our experience at this point in time, well, or also just like maybe some shakeups going on, but it's ultimately going to benefit us in the long run somehow. But Venus and Jupiter together, you guys, beauty, love, like I said, material comforts and possessions, friends, social circles, love interests, all of these things should be going pretty well. Should be we should be having a pretty positive experience in across the board, really, in terms especially though of like just how we're getting along with others and our ability to like meet our needs, wants, and desires over the course of this week. And as this energy coming up, we should feel pretty good, be in a pretty good mood generally, and things should just kind of be coming to us almost like magnetically or magically or something like that. And with Mars in the sign of Gemini, you guys, Gemini, Mars, of course, ruling Aries, where this conjunction is happening, this is also people really expressing their feelings. This is people really saying what's in their heart in some really big ways, talking about their love, talking about their passions, like people being very like driven to be like loving and affectionate and passionate in terms of their actions and stuff, and people saying how they feel, okay? Saying what's in their heart, expressing what's in their heart, talking about it, discussing it in some pretty big ways. That's just what we're likely to see when we have the ruler. With this, first of all, with this energy happening in the sign of Aries anyways, that's going to give us more courage, and it's going to make us more assertive about going after what we want. Venus in the sign of Aries, you guys, there's no holdback. Venus, she goes after what she wants. She fights for what she wants. She takes a risk to get what she wants. And when Jupiter is there, like, we have the faith and the trust and belief in ourselves to be able to achieve our means, to get what we want, to pursue our passion with a positive, productive, successful outcome. And we are very likely to get it. And then when we add Mars ruling this energy, of course, in the sign of Gemini, the sign of communication, like, there's just kind of no holdback, you guys. And people are going to be saying their mind. They're going to be talking about how they feel, and they're going to be pursuing what they want to go after. Now, we'll bring in the Chiron element again for a minute, and we're going to be talking more and more about this over this next couple days. Actually, March 13th is when our Jupiter-Chiron conjunction comes exact, but over this next couple of days, they are in such close proximity, and Venus is there as well. So we're going to be talking about the blending of this triplicity of planets, which I do feel like is really beautiful and is going to be helping us to gain a greater awareness of our wounds, especially heart-based wounds, and what we need to truly heal inside of our heart in order to restore a proper sense of internalized worth and value and self-love, which will help us in this overall process of transformation and like personal transition as we are, you know, going down this new path and graduating into this new paradigm of experience in alignment with a process of self-actualization the universe is compelling us towards. Now we are getting like the hero's journey, okay? An expansion in terms of our wounding perhaps, but also our healing and our sense of self-mastery on this heart-based level. There could be tremendous themes or tremendous level of like wounding that is coming up in this energy, but also simultaneously an awareness that we are gaining and a healing and a transcendence and a mastery over our previous states of victimhood that is going on. That's what I really feel like this is. I feel like people are going to be transcending in some pretty big ways the states of victimhood and the states of wounding and trauma that have kept them back in the past, held into these self-perpetuating or subconscious patterns and loops and cycles. We're coming to the end of this cycle. We're at this tipping point, and definite feature of that in the energy this week is this healing that is going on within us that is allowing us to essentially rise out of, on an energetic level, the patterns of the past that were associated with any type of like a victim complex or this, you know, deep-seated wounding that may have occurred. And it's likely, you know, with something that we've been holding on to again for long periods of time, with all of the Saturn Capricorn themes simultaneously playing out. So love is healing our wounds, you guys, one way or another, somehow or another. That is a vibe that is trying to come through this week as well. Major themes of value, like I said, very rare. Jupiter and Chiron only come together, you guys, once every 14 to 19 years. So again, this is another one of those, like, can be like a 20-year transit. The last time that we had Jupiter and Chiron together was in May of 2009. Neptune was in that conjunction as well. That was really powerful, and that was in the end of Aquarius. And then in 1990, that was the time before that, June of 1990, when we had Jupiter and Chiron together in the sign of Cancer. So you know, this is not an activation that we have all that often. And with Venus there this week as well, this is the two great benefics, okay? This is the two most positive planets in all of astrology coming into contact, you know, with the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. This is really powerful, you guys. This is rare, this is powerful, and it is happening in correspondence, like I said, with this major transition and shift that is bridging us from one paradigm into another. We even have the position of the North Node right now, you guys. The destiny point, where we're going, the path ahead, the path of evolution, the path of growth. The Sabian symbol, 6 degrees of Taurus, a bridge being built across a high, narrow gorge. So this literally is talking about, you know, where we're at right now in this process being a bridge from one place to another. So just pretty powerful time that we're in right now. Magical, positive, healing energy that we also have to help us in our transition, in our metamorphosis, in our ability to move forward. It's going to have to do with healing wounds based in distorted perception of personal worth, value, and just worth and value generally with all of this Venus Chiron energy. And because it's in Aries, the sign of the self, it has to do with our self-worth, our self-value, awakening us to the truth of our self-worth and how that heals, our distortion in the way that we had been relating to ourselves and our own energy, and perhaps the more toxic or negative cycles of relating to others that we had been immersed in or attached in or enmeshed with throughout the maybe past 20 years as a result of that. So this is really huge, you guys, this energy that we are in right now. We also have a moon today in Gemini that is activating this Aries triplicity of beauty that we have going on as well. The moon in Gemini is going to be sextiling Jupiter, Venus, and Chiron in the sign of Aries, and also moving into a conjunction with Mars, who of course is ruling Aries, where this energy is happening. So the moon in the sign of Gemini with Mars and making a sextile these planets, more indication that we are likely to be talking about our feelings, expressing our love, expressing our affection, expressing our wounding perhaps as well. People talking about their wounds, but also maybe like healing, finding healing solutions, or going through some spontaneous type of heart healing, or some type of love that we are giving or receiving or experiencing a divine love or a divine connection. There's so many ways that, things could be, this energy could be working its magic in our lives, but ultimately that's what it's trying to do. And there's just likely to be an emphasis today on expressing feelings, but they're likely to be positive feelings. There's just this really beautiful relational energy that is coming through today. And also, there could be some anger surfacing with the Chiron influence in the sign of Aries. There could be some aggression with the moon coming into the conjunction with Mars, people being fired up a bit. But for the most part, like I said, I feel like it's people motivated, fired up, inspired, wanting to take action, feeling very courageous, wanting to take a risk with the desire to take personal responsibility for some dimension of their healing or their trauma or their wounding, to go after what they want, to overcome these states of victimhood and to feel just to gain a greater awareness. Again, it has everything to do with awakening to this value, this potential within us that we may have not recognized in the past because we may have been surrendering our power to something else, to some person, to some situation because of a void or a lack of recognition of love or truth or value or like just being disconnected from the truth of ourselves. And the universe is trying to reacquaint us with, realign us with those truths now. So this is really what we're looking at in terms of the astrology, you guys, for today. Also moving into tomorrow on Tuesday, the moon will still be transiting the sign of Gemini. The moon will come into a trine with Mercury in Aquarius, who is moving into a conjunction with Saturn. This is an air sign trine. It may be a bit of a less communicative air sign trine than we would normally have between the moon in Gemini and Mercury in Aquarius, because Mercury is moving into a conjunction with Saturn, which can limit or repress, just make us a little bit less talkative and stuff like that. But this is really great planning energy, you guys. Practical ideas, solutions, and steps on how to move forward that really makes sense and that really are setting us up for success. Intellectual precision, a very sharp, focused, determined, like concentrating mind. Also, it can refine, limit, restrict, and apply boundaries to our social circle or, who we're communicating with. This can sort of whittle down. It can, if we're in a process right now of transition and sort of, moving away from maybe our past selves and the relationships and the constructs. That's another word that I've sort of been reaching for, but haven't been able to find with this Saturn, Pluto, Aquarius, Capricorn, last degree energy, the constructs that we've been existing within as well. Like, of, our previous reality, essentially. Like, if we are moving away from the constructs of our, previous experience, a lot of times we're going to be sort of moving away from the relationships that existed within those constructs as well, because we realize that they're no longer an authentic match for us. They're not really fitting us vibrationally anymore. And Mercury in a conjunction to Saturn can also have that simultaneous effect. It's like we're taking things more serious, and we're just more committed to, you know, whatever thought process that we have going on right now. And in the sign of Aquarius, this has to do with authentic truth and future potential and innovation, and like looking forward to like what we're creating, the foundations that we're making, and that we're laying, and the plans that we're making to carry us forward in alignment with this more authentic version and this future potential. So we may sort of find ourselves gravitating away from certain types of people in this energy, and some of those relationships coming to a close as well. But that's what I have to say today, you guys, for our astrology as we close out this last 2 days of the month of February. Again, like, we just are at this end point. We're at this tipping point, and we are about to start to really like gaining some new experiences that perhaps maybe we hadn't like expected or anticipated. Things could be like, these could be some very radically different experiences as well, but it is what it is, and that's how things are looking, and this is where we're going, you guys. And so that's what I have to say, you guys, for the astrology today. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I do have our tarot reading done as well. That is actually going to be at the next video. I recorded it in a separate video today just because I'm doing a little bit of personal research. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it like this in 2 separate videos or not, but I wanted to try it and just see how it goes. So if you guys want to see the tarot reading and the synchronicity card reading for the day in association with this astrology as well, follow me over to the next video where we are about to get right into the collective tarot reading for the day. If you guys liked this video, please give me a big thumbs up, you guys. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think they would like this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. Love your comments. Love you. Love knowing how these energies are impacting you. If something goes on with you that is, you know, right in alignment with these vibes that are playing out, please let me know, because I love just knowing how this stuff, how you guys are doing out there as well. And like I said, follow me to the tarot reading if you are into that. Other than that, you guys, I will be back. We'll have our March overview, and we're going to look at the whole month of March and really see what's coming at us, break it down day by day. So you don't want to miss that one. I feel like it really sets us up. I like doing these monthly videos. I feel like they really set us up with like a good week by week, essentially, breakdown of what is coming at us throughout the month of March. So we'll be doing that next. I'll be here, you guys. You should be here too. You don't want to miss that video. You don't want to miss the tarot reading for today either. It really went well, very much along with the astrology. So I will see you guys there. Have a beautiful day, and until next time, bye guys.